5 easy at-home drills that you can do to build athleticism for your child, for young adults. Let's review this, see if there's any merit.
Today's video, I'm going to give you parents 5 simple things that you and your son can be doing to improve his overall athleticism. They're awesome things.
Should be good for girls and boys. Let's dive into it. I could break it down. The simplest things I would say is you want lower body coordination, you want upper body coordination, you want them to have fun, uh, and and you want to put them in an environment they're going to learn and grow and develop and enjoy it.
Kids are not doing them, but they easily could be. Let's get started right now. Before we get into the 5 things to do to improve overall athleticism, let's talk about why. Why are these things so important? Well, as you get older and you start getting recruited, you are being evaluated on your overall athleticism.
Well, I think more importantly, why is it important? Our job as parents is not to try to get our children recruited as athletes because that's slim to none. If that's your goal, then, good luck and all that stuff. To create an environment where they enjoy working out, they can develop their bodies from, neurologically, and their strength and their mobility and flexibility and all that stuff in ways that are fun and they enjoy, and they'll continue with that their whole entire life.
I know a lot of parents think that you're getting recruited on your statistics. And I'm not saying they play no factor, but I will tell you that these recruiters are going to take athletes over statistics. Now, if they can get athletes with statistics, of course, that's the best of both worlds. But there are kids that have great stats.
All right, let's skip out of this. Obviously, when it comes to depending on the sport, a lot of them do take stats based off of, certain things. If you're in football, 40 times vertical jump, basketball, vertical jump, your height, obviously there's other stats out there, but those things matter. So, if you're 6'6" and you have a 40-inch vertical and you run a 4.5 40, well, most football teams or basketball teams will want you. And that's pretty much, bare necessity. Obviously, if you can hoop, that's one thing, but anybody can teach somebody how to hoop. You can't teach somebody to be 6'6" or 7 feet tall. You can't teach them. You can help them and aid them on improving their speed and their jumping ability. But, those things leap out at you, no pun intended or pun intended, based off of those stats.
Not to make this complicated, let's make sure we understand what we're talking about when we say athleticism. When we think of great athletes, we're talking about balance, we're talking about strength, we're talking about agility, we're talking about mobility, flexibility, we're talking about explosive movements, we're talking about reflexes, we're talking about eyesight. These are all the components. If you were to break,
So, essentially, it's what's called like biomotor abilities. Like the most important things when it comes to most sports are going to be speed, strength, explosiveness, acceleration. Right? Obviously, there's a ton of other ones depending on the sport. Eyesight, more hand-eye coordination than anything. They don't care if you have 20/20 vision if you can't catch a football or catch a baseball, right? They want to make sure you can have the ability to catch those things. But the big ones are those things. Balance, the stronger you are, the more balance you're going to have. Mobility depends on, some football players don't want that much mobility because if they're too mobile and flexible, then when somebody hits them, they fall apart. It depends on each sport on your biomotor abilities, and even breaking it down more, each specific position, right, needs more mobility, some needs to be faster, more explosive than others. Obviously, if you're a 7'1" and you have a solid frame and strength and all that stuff, you don't need to be the fastest person out on the court. So you can sacrifice some things for other things. Same thing if you're an offensive lineman or a wide receiver, or you're a point guard versus a center, or depending on your position in baseball, or whatever it may be, gymnast or so forth.
Break down the best athletes in the world, they are all of them, almost always. There are a few exceptions.
So again, like I said, they don't have all those things. You don't A gymnast is going to have far more flexibility, and that's going to be far more valuable than most strength. Strength for a power athlete, now that's super important, but they don't really care that about flexibility. That's why you want to really address the biomotor abilities, and when you're working on training somebody, you should be focused on, who they are. Obviously, if they're never going to become 7 feet tall or they're not a gymnast, you can focus more on areas that will make them perform better for that sport. Obviously, with kids in general, you want them to learn mechanics, how to move their bodies effectively. That's why it's about lower body coordination, upper body coordination, and be able to stabilize their body under forces that are applied. And that can help, by doing fun different drills, skipping, hopping, jumping around, and all these little games that you can play with them.
But most great athletes are all of those things. The question is, what are you doing on a daily basis with those things in mind? Now, contrast that by
Yeah, daily basis. It's really simple. It's like back in the day, we played tag, we played hide and go seek, we ran from each other, we played different games. You played baseball, you threw the ball, you played catch, you played football, you played soccer. So you want to get them involved. You did handstands, you did cartwheels, you did things with everybody in the neighborhood. So you developed more of an athletic ability than, anything.
way with kids that are just going in the batting cage and getting thousands of swings. Okay, that's not improving athleticism. That might not even be improving hitting because there are kids that aren't even doing the
Arguably, based off a law of specificity, you're going to improve hitting if you get more reps. So just like free throws, if you shoot free throws, obviously you might have bad form. You might need to adjust your technique so you can improve and get even better form. But yes, law of specificity would mean you will get better at hitting than you currently are if you just go in and do batting.
bat swings the correct way, but that's another video. So I'm not trying to make this complicated. I just want you to understand what we're talking about, why it's so important. And now let's finally get to these 5 love.
So let's jump in here.
Juggling. Actually,
so juggling,
there and say, no, I don't teach
it's a cool thing. It's easy to teach. First, you start with those really light handkerchiefs. You throw them up in the air, and then you can catch 2 at a time, then 3 at a time, then 4 at a time. All that stuff. It's good for hand-eye coordination. Like I said, upper body coordination. It's great. And then you can progress to balls, tennis balls, so forth, heavier objects, and all that. Do I think it really builds athleticism? Not really. Hand-eye coordination and focus and all that, sure.
Juggling. I tell them I want them to learn to juggle. When we tell kids to do things and we teach them exactly how to do it, I don't think that's the best way for them to learn. So here's what I will say to my clients. I want you to go do some studying on juggling. I want you to find out how
Yeah, really, it's all about just creating games. So you can have a circuit, you can have different things where you put kids in an environment where, let's say, they play lava, right? You got to climb on your furniture and all stuff. And if somebody falls in the lava, the only way you can get them out is have them juggle. So through making up games with little simple rules for kids to follow makes it fun and makes them develop these habits. Because if they can't juggle and they can't get their friend out of the lava locker room, then they're going to want to learn.
People juggle.
Let's see if I can skip to the next thing.
To do it, teaching, and you don't experience the frustration. And if something else as we happen when called, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why do so few people have unique skills? Because we have to learn how to overcome the frustration. Now imagine, Coach Mark, people have.
Yeah, you need obviously overcoming frustration is important. All kids can suffer with this. The more we as parents stay away from them, and coaches and put them in situations where they put more pressure on them, the more they can make it fun and gameplay and fall in love with a specific sport or activity, the more they're going to do it on their own, and the more free play they have, the better off they will be. So again, staying out of their lane is always best. Less lecture, less communication, just getting them environments fun, taking them on trips where you have them ski, where you have them snowboard, where you have them try different things. Obviously, if you do them
If
yourself.
they can ride a unicycle. Not that many. Why? It's hard. How many people can ski? How many people can do wheelies on a bicycle? Okay, these are skills, and I'm not suggesting you
Yeah,
go out.
same thing, just create fun. I was fortunate as a kid in our gym class, we had unicycles. So we did all these things. We just did these as kids. We rode bikes everywhere. We rode them to friends' house. So you learn to develop these skills. One of your friends does it, so then you do it. So again, if you can create somewhat games, this is where gym in schools is so valuable to provide these opportunities for kids. Otherwise, as parents, you have to invite a bunch of kids over and have them do it.
Learn to do wheelies. I'm just saying, most people.
So, translation, get them off iPads, get them off phones, get them out of the house, and have them just go hang out with friends. This is challenging for us because we're all fear based and worried about our kids being kidnapped and all that, which research shows that that has gone down since everybody has a mobile phone.
Well, if you ask them, what are your unique skills? What have you looked? Well, don't. It's roaring. When I was a kid,
Next one is jump roping. He's saying jump rope. Again, this is great. Double Dutch, all stuff. This was something girls predominantly did regularly on the top all the time. They got really good at jump roping. This is fine. It's again, I think soccer is a better lower body coordination movement, and it's more fun for kids as opposed to jump rope. But girls tend to gravitate towards that. There's all these little things, but again, just creating games, for them, and that's good.
Now you ask kids to jump rope, like I've got
Let's see
feet.
if I can
They
skip
have
through.
see some kids doing ladder drills. Why? Because athletes have great feet. They have light, quick drills. Why?
This is good. Footwork is awesome. Developing footwork is great. I don't think ladders is the best solution. Dance, movement, things like that will help develop footwork, and it's better and it's more fun. So if you can dance, you can move effectively. If you can play basketball, if you can play soccer, you're going to get better footwork. So lower body coordination. There's some good things with ladders and then bad things with ladders. So what is it? What law is that where about speed and accuracy contradict each other? So when you're focusing on trying to be accurate in the ladder, you're going to sacrifice speed, vice versa. So just doing different fun activities where they have to, do certain things, skips, jumps, all that stuff is good, and you don't have to do the constraints of a ladder because this looks more like exercise to kids than it does look like it's fun. Nobody's like, hey, let's go do the speed ladder. And I also see this done wrong so many times. Not saying it's bad. It's a tool, and it's a good tool if you use it effectively.
When my son was 15 and the Virginia Tech coach told us that he had heavy, slow feet, I took Christian to a guy and said, hey, we're going to do ladder drills till you're sick of ladder drills because
Yeah, speed up feet, ladder drills isn't necessarily, you could just do plyometrics and obviously hit the weight room is going to be far better to speed up your feet, uh, you know, and then improve footwork on whatever he needs to improve it on so he understands what footwork needs to go. But you're going to be better off with doing plyos and weight training to develop, you know, muscles that contract and move faster to be able to do that, um, than just doing the ladder, right?
you got to speed those feet up. And he did.
You
And
all because it just take tap dancing too. Tap dancing is great and other things.
it dramatically helped him and probably changed his whole career because when
But
you
sure, it will work, right? Like if you don't do anything for footwork and you do ladder drills, therefore you're doing more than you did in the past. Simple, it's going to improve your results.
a quick feet, you stand like things in ping pong. You're just moving back and forth, your hand-eye coordination. But I
Next
will
is
tell you,
ping
kids
pong,
that play ping pong
right?
are
These are
way
fun games, right? All kids should be doing different games like this. Pickleball, tennis, works on coordination, hand-eye thing. It's fun. So yeah, all on board with
Of
ping
kids who
pong.
don't, and here's why.
But that just means you need to get a ping pong table, invite a bunch of kids in, have a party, let them play ping pong. And then the ones that are really competitive will stand out. Arguably, things that are more important to teach your kids is courage, to be competitive and have that drive and discipline. And then the rest will fall into place. But if it's for
Because
athleticism,
your brain and your
let's go to the
face
next one.
great, so much fun music. You can do it. I squeeze the hand grips that you can get at any sporting goods store for $10. Number 5, hand grips. Such an easy.
Again, hand grips, you don't need great hand strength for kids to develop athleticism. Have them pick up stuff, hang from bars, jungle gym, monkey bars. Let them do those things. That's going to develop plenty of hand strength. Fun games where they're grabbing stuff and pulling, wrestling. Those things are far better than doing ridiculous hand grip tools.
And some of it, most of it, is strength. Oh, 5 skin, ladder drill, ping pong, and hand grips. If
So
you
again, not to destroy this guy, but juggling. It's a cool fun thing to do. Obviously, hit the weight room, have them do fun games, soccer, volleyball, ping pong. All these different activities, and they're going to get lower body coordination, upper body condition coordination, football, baseball, have them catch things, have them throw things, have them, play all kinds of different games. Jumping rope, again, it's not as fun. Dancing, movement, soccer, things like that are going to be more better. Playing games, ladder drills, not necessary. Again, playing games, movement, soccer, gymnastics, things like that. Get them to move overall their body. Ping pong, again, good activity, but it's not going to develop real athleticism. Getting into the weight room, understanding mechanics, learning mechanics, getting them to move, run sprints, do track, race each other, fun things like that, competitive things. Hand grips, no, don't waste your time. Monkey bars, play on the jungle gym, all those things. Depends on the age group, but create more fun games. Get them to do more activities. Get them to play more games with just like soccer, volleyball, baseball, football, things like that. And they'll develop far more athleticism than anything's in here. And then maybe when they're home and they're tired, yeah, ping pong and juggling, things like that are going to be better off for these people. And then if you want quick feet and more explosiveness, hit the weight room, get stronger, more athletic, obviously, as their bodies mature and all that. Hopefully, I didn't mean to completely beat up these at-home drills. I guess if they're at home, but yeah, at-home drills. Get in the backyard and play soccer. All those things. That home run derby. Those things with your friends. Those are far better. Get off the iPads. Get off the phones. Get kids to play more and play independently, or play with a friend, or play with a group of friends. That will develop far more athleticism than anything else. Hopefully this was helpful. Wish you guys all the best. Take care.